they're setting up for some concert here at Climate Pledge. Welcome back to the Storm Postgame Report. Christian, Charles, great Bella Munson with Locked On Women's Basketball apparently is in the background as well. Cover your credential.
Bella, what's up?
See you, dude. Yes, nice 97-81 victory for Seattle to close out their homestand. And as Christian asked post game, it was the first of three times over the next
Six
few
games.
weeks. Wow. Oh, yes, that they play the Connecticut Sun, which is fascinating that they will end this homestand against the Connecticut Sun. They will end the road trip against the Connecticut Sun, and they will begin the next homestand against the Connecticut Sun. So, NBA WNBA schedule, man. As we've said a few times on this post game report, they got to fit in all 44 somehow, I guess. Um, Christian and I were mentioning this kind of before we started here, but Seattle takes care of business tonight. I mean, they, you know, as Skylar Diggins said in the post game, they weren't happy with their effort last game. They weren't happy with how things have gone. Um, what did interest me, and I'm sure we'll talk about it, right, was how I guess the team had kind of asked over the course of this week, had asked Dominique Malanga and Zaya Cook to grow up. And Noel Quinn, kind of talked about that, said not necessarily grow up because these are their own people, right? But kind of have games to, maybe grow up and grow into their own form, so to say, right? And
Yeah,
hey,
phrasing.
Dom, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Dom, career high 11. Zaya Cook, 9 points. Uh, you get rebound, two assists. Zaya Cook plays good minutes. And especially, being down a guard with Lexi Brown,
Yeah.
dealing with, I don't know if it's accurate to call it a flare up, so I don't want to do that. But she had said on TikTok, she had, some come up health wise. But she's talked to some folks and, Noel said pregame that they expect her back in the next few days. So
Yeah.
that's good.
I think it's okay
Um,
to call it a flare up because she's said the same thing before when she had to have
okay.
a procedure done. I can't remember what season it was, whether it be some season before last or last season, but I think she had one of those where she had at least two done in the middle of the season. So yeah, it's not something that's too unfamiliar for her, at least
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I am
I
starting
mean,
to
she's
wonder
back on
though
the
if
bench, on Monday. I think it was that Monday. Was that Monday?
uh,
They played no
Tuesday, I think.
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Yeah, she was on the bench supporting the team. So I mean, hey, you know,
These folks are going to work on the conversion crew. We're gonna move around on this post game report. Um, we'll do this. Yeah, no, so yeah, this is I mean, but the point stays that Seattle was without a guard because they did not have her. I said it last post game, Christian, I think, or I think maybe last Storm Coffee Table we did, but I've happily been proven wrong about Zaya Cook. I wasn't so sure about what she'd give you. Christian has, spouted her praises throughout the course of the preseason and into the season. And, I think she's a solid bench guard. I think at the end of the day, my frustration has just been the roster management, or so to say, mismanagement as a whole, right? I
yeah.
think that's a fair point to make. We're gonna go on an adventure. I'm still gonna be doing the show, but um,
This is what the
but
people
yeah,
want
this
to see.
was, I guess, we're gonna see Climate Pledge Arena after dark. Um, let's see. This man, you were tweeting it, right? But Skylar Diggins, I don't know if she saw the tweets online, or about All-Star voting and all that, or what. But she came out, she made her first four shots, I think.
Yeah,
Was red hot shooting, and kind of the last few games, really, I felt at least, like maybe specifically going back to like the sorry, I'm out of breath. Goddamn. Um, like that
no, you
Valkyries game.
good.
It's like you want to talk about a
Yeah,
player being determined and talk about will, Skylar Diggins. Um, I don't get how there are other guards who, are getting the sort of numbers vote wise over her, but
listen, I
I don't
love
know.
I love Brittany Sykes, one of my
Mm-hmm.
favorite players in the league. Considering she does everything, she's a real five-tool player. Shout out to baseball, but voting for her over Skylar Diggins just does not make sense to me. I saw a ballot that I can't remember whose it was, but that just yeah no. Sorry.
No. So
That doesn't even make sense statistically. So that is a
no.
tongue twister.
So it's pretty ridiculous in that regard. And even I'm sure we'll get to it, my friend, but seeing Gabby, unfortunately, is looking at this point like she might be a snub in that regard, when it comes to the
Yeah.
All-Star voting. So Skylar, get back to Skylar. Skylar led the way for Seattle with 24. Um, Seattle was able to get to the free throw line a little bit. You and I have talked about it. I know there's something you wanted to talk about on the Storm Coffee table about specifically Gabby, maybe not getting to the free throw line, but they were able to get to the line tonight. 20
Yeah.
of 23 from the free throw line tonight. Skylar 6 of 7, 1 rebound, 5 assists. So, and then a steal in there. She had a great game. I mean, just want to talk about 4 for 4 to begin the game, 8 for 14 overall, 2 for 4 from
10
three.
points in the first 10 points in the first quarter.
Yep.
Scored assist on seven of the nine buckets they made. I mean, it was really, their quarter. Then in the second quarter, Connecticut, the youth, really, J.C. Sheldon, Anissa
Mm-hmm.
Morrow, they combined for I think it was 13. Yeah, 13 of the teams, 19 points in that period. And then
Jeez.
Seattle just came out of the gates in the third quarter. The belt came off. Essentially, a 30-17 quarter. Mecca had 10 of those points in the third and really just smooth coasting, really, until the fourth, where Connecticut kind of made a nice little push, get back in the game, lose about 16. Considering they were down by 1 point, almost 30. I mean, yeah, I think that's a good, that's a good game for them.
Oh,
They're working. They're trying to get back, and they're enduring the longest losing streak right now, 8 games in franchise history. They've lost 3 straight games by 15 plus points, which is the first time in franchise history. I mean, they're missing Marina Mabry, who is honestly
yep.
probably their most important player. She's really one of the main players, especially at the guard position, that gives the spacing some legitimacy with consistent shot making from the outside.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, it's not really fair when Bria Harley's running everything and she's just
Yeah.
not kind of passing the ball. It just kind of sticks. So yeah, the offense was, at least for Connecticut, it was really Anissa Morrow in the second half. Career high points, career high rebounds, career high minutes, career high everything, just because she's given a consistent opportunity. But I mean, that's really where the good things end for Connecticut. And then, Seattle again, consistency. That's what you want to see, especially
Yes.
after a game like the Indiana Fever game where you could have won. You come out and you beat a team that you're supposed to beat. You know,
Mm-hmm.
we're not getting for 40 minutes or an hour. It's like, oh my god, this team, this win. You're supposed to beat the worst team in the league. You're supposed to
Yes.
soundly beat them. You know, so and that's what this game was. So
Taking care of business, take care of business when you're
exactly,
supposed to.
exactly.
And you know, it's more so when they don't. Here, this is better. Got the entire arena behind me. Or down there. There you go. They're supposed to do this, right? So, I mean, nice to see the sort of same. Ooh, actually, Magbegor early and aggressive. The sort of play that it was kind of her. I think you tweeted it in terms of leading the Storm points wise. It was her and Skylar leading Seattle in this one. They just looked aggressive. And then even at one point later in the game, she took a three, I think it was uncontested, and she missed it, which is fine though, because it's like she'd taken. We had seen the stretch of games where she wasn't even attempting the threes. And even after it might have been the Indiana one, but I know it was some point during this homestand where she hit a three and you could see the whole full body sigh of relief,
Yeah,
right? So nice for her, Ezzy, 12 points, 5 boards, a steal, and 3 assists. 3 assists. Okay, Ezzy. 2 blocks, of course. Ooh, man. Like the defensive basketball tonight from
it was
Gabby
great.
Williams and Ezzy Magbegor, right? Just seeing, I think there was a sequence where it was back to back Ezzy blocks that just kind of got the building on his feet. It was a good crowd tonight. You know,
Ten
yes. Uh,
thousand 776, I think.
yes, sir. Yep. Exactly right. What I got on my nice old fashioned paper box score. It
I
still
got mine
exists.
open on my computer.
It is the climate pledge, but they do print this stuff. Um, uh, yeah, no, good crowd tonight. It was Pride night. Oh, where is my Storm Pride flags back there somewhere? Um, good crowd tonight. Friday night, it was they put on a good show. They put on a good show. You get four of your starters in double digits. Skylar puts on an all-star level show. You get your exciting rookie phenom just under 20 minutes. Um, I I was gonna do a takeaways on this game, Christian. Um, I love seeing Dominique Malonga's offensive bag expand, and maybe it's some of the things that we've already seen from her, just seeing the different ways that she can you know, get buckets. I mean, just the
Yeah,
quick pull-ups. I think Skylar had a quote from it. I think it was about going up and about how when she goes up, there's hardly anybody in the league that can truly can contest her when she rises up, so just seeing that you had the great question post game to I think it was coach about how Erica and Dom have this connection where a good number of her assists are to Dominique. It was kind of
yeah.
fun to hear the answer on that.
Entering the game, I think it was 11. Erica had 6 tonight, I believe, which is right behind Gabby for tied. I think Gabby had 7. So yeah, Erica Will has 11 assists for on the season to Dominique Malonga. Asked coach, what's the what's the secret ingredient to that? Really, she just said Dom and Erica were the first ones really here in practice during training camp, and that really is paying dividends as far as the relationship on the court, where they're playing pretty consistent minutes. I don't have play opened up right now, but the minutes where they're both on the court, I'm pretty sure are probably some of the best that Seattle's had this season so far. Um, yeah. Let's see.
But
On here.
I
Okay,
will
yeah,
say
that's pretty good.
here. Oh, you got it.
I know, keep going.
Oh, I was just gonna say, looking at the box score, so often with this roster, we look at the box score and you've got a certain players, typically Gabby, Skylar, and or NECA, like close to the 40-minute mark. But nice to see that nobody played over 30 and change tonight. Erica Wheeler was the one who actually got the closest with 30 minutes and 44 seconds. Just again, you took care of business, which is what you needed to do and what you should be doing. But it is nice that you don't have to worry about some of your players playing so deep. I was a little bit worried when Noel Twin was having Gabby kind of take your lead guard roles in a way, right? Kind of handling the basketball, bringing the basketball up. I was like, hey, let's let's get her some time off, huh? Let's
Yeah.
try to do that. And I get it. It's like in terms of running the offense and all that. We saw Gabby do it last year as well, bring the ball up at times, right? Um, but I really wanted to get her some time off there, and you get everybody except for Mackenzie Holmes into double-digit minutes, 16 or more. And it was nice to get Mac her first real WNBA points, 2 points, a rebound, and an assist in this one. Um, oh, and a block. Hello. All right. I do want to ask you though, not to like maybe necessarily bring the negative into this game, but given Alicia's 17, they were up by I think what's the largest lead here? 27?
Yeah.
31 was the biggest lead they had.
Oh
Jesus
wait,
Christ.
it was
If
31, yeah.
they were up to 27, you're like, hey, let's get Max some minutes here. And I agree. I mean, Alicia just really hasn't, unfortunately, as we have said, and has some fans have brought up, has not been able to be the sort of offensive producer, that maybe some I don't know what I thought because you can only expect so much from Alicia Clark at this stage of her career, right?
Yeah.
Um,
I don't
so
think
I
that's
would just like
unfair.
to see. I think yeah. So I'm just wondering, I do wonder about that, but as you know, my friend, if I ask about the bench, I will Noel Quinn will be like, well, you'll ask about the starters if the bench does well. So I don't know. I do wonder about that a little bit, but they God, I didn't realize, yeah, that Anissimoro led Connecticut in scoring coming off the bench. Jesus Christ.
She would be somewhere in the rookie of the year conversation if she averaged more than 11 minutes a game. I will say that much.
Jesus. Yeah.
Um, as far as the stats though,
Hmm.
um, with Dominique Malonga, Erica Williams, Skylar Diggins, Nneka Ogwumike, and Gabby Williams, that lineup has only played 15 minutes so far this year, right? That's a net rating of 18.6, which is actually astounding. Um,
Hmm.
Offense isn't that great. It's at 96.4 as far as offensive rating. Again, this is not much to take from him. It's only been 15 minutes, but that would be somewhere around, honestly, the bottom of the league, like 12th or 11th. But the defense is 77.8. So that would be best in the league, honestly, in those 15 minutes. So I would love to see more of that lineup, honestly,
Hmm.
just to see what it looks like. But considering there are so many options with Ezzy, with NECA,
Yeah.
with um, you know, with everyone in the front court, even Mackenzie Holmes. I mean, she got her first bucket again. Erica Wheeler, that just came from her. So, just really seeing this team take over the way that it needs to, and Erica Wheeler being exactly what I thought she would be when everyone thought it was a joke. Like, no, I've watched Erica Wheeler before Indiana Fever days. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think that was the biggest thing you talk about the way that they came out, right? And I was thinking about this as my out of breath self was walking around the concourse here. Was like, Skylar's obviously the vocal leader. I'd say this team. NECA's obviously up there, but you want to talk about someone who's gonna, own the. We talked about this last game. Own it, and so often those two are owning it when it shouldn't always have to be them. But it thinking about it, it shouldn't at all be surprising to me that Skylar had the start that she did after the way she talked post game because she was like, "Hey, this is not what fans come out to see." Again, 10,776 tonight, as you said. So another nice crowd. She came out hot. She came out leading the way, which I shouldn't be surprised whatsoever. Um, so that
Are you
and
surprised that Gabby led the team in assists, steals, and time for blocks? I think
No, that
rebounds.
is that is the French Army knife. Someone on Blue Sky was like, "We need to shorten the French Army knife as a nickname." I was like, "No, no, 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 no." No. I think
It's
that
perfectly fine.
every part of that is well deserved. I mean, that is ridiculous. Almost, yeah. I was gonna say almost leading you in rebounds. No, leading you in rebounds, nearly a double double on that. Could have been a. I mean, at this point, we're flirting with triple double, considering you're at 7 assists. Yeah, four
Uh-huh.
steals. I mean, just your do it all again. You find something that Gabby Williams cannot do in the court. I was talking to Bella, who is now gone, um, during the game. I said, if Gabby wanted to dunk, I have a feeling that she very well could, just given her
She
athletic
could.
ability, you know? So there is nothing she can't do on a court, and it will be a real shame if she somehow does not end up recognized as an all-star. I get that all-star isn't everything, but given the way that she has been playing and the value that she presents, I was up late at night looking at basketball reference, looking at win shares because as Christian brought up 5 tool player and how that's a baseball term, right? I am a baseball guy, so we're friends in numerous regards, but in that regard as well. WAR is something wins above replacement, like a replacement level average player. I looked for that, and that what
There's so many stats
basketball
in baseball
reference.
that just don't make sense to me.
Oh,
Like,
trust me, trust me. We have a
listen,
great PR team with the Mariners, and I see so many of those that I don't understand.
I'm like one of those old white guys. So it's like, listen, man, give me your RBIs, give me the homers, give me the RISP. Like, I don't give, I don't care about the rest of the shit. Like,
You, you and my dad would be friends in that regard. Every time I mention one of these deeper things, like I don't understand what you're saying.
just hit the ball, just
Um,
catch it, run. That's all you gotta do. Like, shit.
you sound like the fans behind us. Just dunk on her whenever Don
Just
has the
dunk on
ball.
her. That's all you gotta do. Just jump up and put your arm up.
especially after she went down. I was like, let's not have her jumping no more. All right, let her just get out of the game
Can
healthy.
we talk about it? Like,
Give
I
me give me
understand,
1 second. Let me
man.
get through these wind shares, but I hear you. I'll lodge that. But Seattle had three players in the top 15 of the league in win shares. Gabby Williams was in 14th. Like if you're telling me whatever
Roger's
the
not
roster
higher.
size
Wow.
is, I know. Um, you know who is somewhat funny. You might not like me saying this. You know what who they had right below her at 15th was Lexi
Who?
Hull, which I caught was kind of interesting. But anyway, um,
Yeah.
yeah, no, I don't know I don't know off the top of my head. I apologize. I'm sweating. I've been moving around since we
Wow,
relocated and
what's
trying
up?
to get out of the way of the conversion crew. But you know, yeah, I don't know how many players are on the All-Star roster, but if you're telling me Gabby Williams is not one of the best, top 15 or so players that makes the roster, I think you're lying. But yes, Dominique Malonga goes down after a free throw. I believe it was her left ankle. They're doing the thing, which is good. You don't want people recording it where they've got the assistants, like the courtside assistants, holding towels over the players whenever they get hurt, so you can't see it. Um, so I couldn't tell which one it was. She was able to walk off on her own power though, which was good. And I was like, okay, that was a scare. We had like 5 minutes left in the game at that point, I think. I was like, hey, just let her sit. Nope. She came back in like half a minute or a minute later. And then she goes to she's trying to go to the rim and she takes a hard foul. She got hit in the face, I believe it was.
Yes, it was. Yep.
Yeah. And I'm
Right,
just
right in the noggin.
I didn't see that part. So I thought it was anytime I see somebody go up and I see them go down and I can't see the rest of the play, I'm a little bit worried, right? That it was something about them landing. So I was unfortunately worrying for the worst. Knock on wood, sorry to put that out there. But right? So that was tough. That was tough. I'm just glad she came out of it all right because God forbid, especially with the roster situation that the Storm are in right now, right? That they have to deal with that, let alone sidelining one of the pillars of your future of the franchise, right? So I know you had thoughts on that. I will let you take over there and your thoughts on it because yeah, man, that was a bit dangerous there.
Don't get me wrong. Love the minutes from down, but considering you have one of the most brutal stretches of the season coming up, again, against the Valkyries, against the Dream, against Connecticut two more times. Like these are games where you're gonna need Dominic Belonga to play, and it just doesn't seem wise to keep her in the game after that first incident. She slipped. They were up 20 for majority of that third into the fourth quarter. So it just didn't really make sense to continue to have her out there and risk further injury, you know. And she already gonna wake up tomorrow, that ankle's gonna be sore. So we're gonna see how that's gonna, play out. Especially considering it's a quick turnaround on Sunday. It's just it didn't need to happen.
No, no, and well, and then so you know what I was thinking about. Unfortunately, though, with this is like I would have loved them to be able to empty the bench even more than they already were doing, but you can't because Lexi Brown's out right now, and because of the roster situation that you're in, you are missing a spot. You are without a body that a lot of players in this league, a lot of players, sorry, a lot of teams in this league have. So, you know, um, yeah, took care of business. Skylar started hot, played well. Gabby missed do it all, like Inspector Gadget type. Like Gabby's got the trench coat and all the different things. Again, she can do everything. Nice game from Ezzy. Really do like that. Uh, kind of it's weird to say quieter night from Neko Gumake just because how she can affect the game. 16-4, an assist in there and a block, but it was somewhat a quieter game. Unless you got anything on that or no?
I'm sitting over here talking and realize I muted myself. But yeah, she had 10
Oop.
of her 16 in the third quarter.
Hey, there you go. Hey, and that's a small thing either.
Yeah.
I mean, being able to pull away, you need that, and you look to your best players to do that. And NECA is one of those players. And as
I mean,
as
she had a
Skylar
third of the
said,
30, so
yes, yeah, oh yeah, that's right. There you go. Skylar said NECA, one of the most underappreciated, disrespected MVPs in league history. So, talked about the defense. Obviously, a lot of Dom discussion. Um, anything from this guy? Because again, they handled business, right? They came in here, they finished out the homestand with a win. 10 wins, 10 wins on the season. They've hit the double-digit mark. Still behind Atlanta though, right? Because I
Yeah,
think they've got the
Atlanta.
tiebreaker.
So far, yeah.
Yeah.
Atlanta won
Um,
today, so no, the Lynx beat them. So Atlanta
oh wait.
is 10-6 tied record
But they still have the tiebreaker, right? Because head to head. Yeah.
so far.
Yeah. But as you mentioned, important stretch coming up, right? Because they will see them in the near
Yep.
future, if I remember correctly. So yeah, that's gonna be important. Oh yeah, I gotta go to July for this. Forgot we're in July. Yep, July 3rd. You see them? You see, oh Jesus, this road trip is disgusting. Golden State, Atlanta, New York, Connecticut, and then see Connecticut again two
Connecticut's
days
going to be
after that.
Raleigh. That's a hard place to play.
And they don't, they haven't been blown out every game. They're not, there's no pushover in this league. So just a few mismanaged teams. That could be a whole other thing. That could be a whole other thing.
At the
Um,
bottom league without train facilities, yeah.
oh my God. Jesus Christ.
Well, no, actually, no.
Um,
Only one of them has a committed plan right now. That's the Dallas Wings, so I can't give them too much flack.
yeah. Well, some teams don't even know what they're doing and they're expanding next year.
Shout
See,
out,
I'm just
shout
sitting
out to
here.
Seattle's little ugly cousin.
See, this guy knows. This guy knows it. I was wondering about that this morning when all this stuff was happening. I was like, maybe as part of this, he knows about.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
listen, look, don't get me wrong. Some of the best shipper I've ever had is in Portland, but Portland's just the suburbs of Seattle, really.
Yeah.
Like you got people
Um,
that drive to, they call it the city. Yeah, you leave from Portland going to Seattle.
that and the state of Oregon are Washington and Seattle's little brother. So, um, anything from this game you didn't
Vancouver,
touch on?
Washington, underrated.
How did you know about Vancouver, Washington? Jesus Christ. Um,
Brother, this is my
yeah,
first time on the West Coast. Come on now.
this is true. Some people don't even know that Vancouver, Washington exists. Yeah,
Listen,
anything
when
from
you
this
cross that
game?
bridge leaving Portland, it's oh my God, all those houses on that huge hill scared the shit out of me the
Oh
first
yeah.
time.
My God. Jesus. Yeah, anything from this game we didn't touch on you want to hit before we get out of here?
So we got on Zaya, Wheeler, Malonga.
Yep.
No, that's pretty much it. Still a good win, sound win, one that you need to see before you head into this stretch. You know,
Yes, I
if they
think
would have won by
that's the
less than
main.
10, I've been worried.
Yeah, I think that's you put it very well, my friend, in terms of if you want to like someone's asking me is like how'd it go? It's good sound win, good win they needed to get heading into a stretch that's gonna test them and it's gonna test their depth. So kind of happy that you were able to get your depth some games in this one. So yeah, next game Sunday at Golden State, which as Skylar mentioned, is not an easy place to play. They've got shit going. I mean, I underestimated Golden State, I'll tell you that. They won today. They're 8-7. I think they're right below Seattle in the standings in terms of overall standings, which is wild to me. Again,
It
not yep,
is,
eight and
right?
seven. Not at all what I expected. So yeah, they'll go and play them as Skylar also mentioned, 5:30 start time. So kind of weird. Sunday, 5:30. So yeah, man. Till we see you next time from Climate Pledge Arena. I again do not know what oops what concert they're getting ready for. Oop, but
It
they're doing
started
shit. So
immediately.
I wanted to get out of the way. So, until we see you next time, take care of yourselves, do well, whatever you can to make today a great day.
Hey, Charles.
Hey, Jen.
Hey, where are you going to watch the Seattle Storm away games this year?
Away games. Well, Rough and Tumble is the home of Circling Seattle Sports, so I was thinking of coming here if that's okay with you.
I think that makes a lot of sense. See you all here.